Hey guys in YouTube world. So what I'm going to demo for you today is doing a modeled face with chocolate. It's something I do a lot in Food Network Challenge. Modeling chocolate is my favorite product in the whole wide world because it's really easy to sculpt, it doesn't dry out really quickly, and you can blend seams out, so it's my favorite thing. We're going to start today with our lovely flesh colored. Right now I've got an egg-shaped piece of styrofoam. I've pushed the head down a little bit and put very slight indentation in for kind of just to get the general place of where eyes will be and the nose will begin. And you can do this with cake and Rice Krispie treats as well. Cake, just cut it out, and Rice Krispie treats you can just push it in. So I've got my modeling chocolate rolled about 1/4 inch thick. I want to just kind of lay it over this. I always do this on the ground with styrofoam. I do it upright on cake. And use your hands just to kind of push it into whatever substance you're working with. Kind of push it in and mold it around. With modeling chocolate, it's really key, if you have really hot hands, which luckily I do not, you want to wear gloves when you do this because the gloves will keep it from transferring all the heat and melting, but I don't have to worry about that. The heat is good though because you can get, fingerprints out and really adhere it. So just cover your ball completely. You don't have to worry about the back because we'll put hair on him eventually. And then you can just pinch off the extra, and this is where I love modeling chocolate. Pinch it off, you just push it back down with your hands and get out the seams. And then from here, what I like to do, I've decided I'm going to make kind of a really Tim Burton-y character with a big handlebar mustache today. So first things first, use your thumbs. Your hands are your greatest tools. And you really just kind of indent in. You'll get the bridge of the nose, you'll get your eye sockets, and start to pull out your eyebrows where those will go. And so we're going to have him kind of having a haughty look on his face. So just keep pushing it in until, I always recommend buy some books on, facial features and expressions and whatnot. And take a look at what you're dealing with. And so from here, I put it on his nose, and I want him to have a really big, hooky, cartoonish type nose, almost villainous with his nose, because I like to do really quirky, funny characters. So modeling chocolate, if it's slightly warm, you don't need water or anything to attach it. You can just kind of put it directly on where his bridge is, and then use your fingers and use the heat of your hand to really smooth it out and blend it in to what's beneath it. And just push it all the way around all the seams. If you're really industrious, you can actually use a brulee torch and kind of melt the chocolate a little bit and get all the seams out, but I like leaving a little bit because it gives it character. Alright. And so from here, you want to grab your tools. These are my 3 favorite tools. They're all made by PME. And one of these in particular is great for making nostrils. So from here you can kind of see our haughty butler taking shape. Alright, so we've got his nose attached, and you can kind of see the profile of what we're going to have. And the next thing you want to do is take all these tools. These are made by PME. And this is one of my favorite tools in the whole wide world. It's a quilter tool, but it has this lovely, pointy, diggy thing on the other side that is great for making noses. And so what you want to do is just go in and let the shape of the tool determine the shape of the nostril. And then you can take your next tool, take a ball tool, and just kind of start to work them out to give him his nostrils. And then take your pointy tool again, go around and give them the nostril folds. With characters, anytime you do them, you really want to accentuate all their features. You're not going for realism, you're going for, an expression, an attitude. So I want him to be very kind of snooty. And you can once again just use your hands to smooth out any jagged lines. And there you have wonderful little nostrils. And something that's very small that makes a load of difference when you're doing something like this. So then I'll once again use my finger to give him kind of a fold for his lip. He's going to have a mustache, so I don't have to really concern myself with that. But use this same tool to kind of cut in a mouth. You can go pretty deeply on both sides. I'm just going to give him the basis of a mouth, and then you'll take another little thin piece. You can roll a little tiny rope to put in for his lip. He's going to have a protruding lower lip. Just use your tools to trim off the edges. And then I've decided I want to give him a couple of, kind of a weak chin, but some fat rolls under his chin. So then you just use the same tool and kind of dig around. And this is why you want to have your modeling chocolate thick when you cover this, so you've got a lot to play with. And so you can give him his multiple chins. One more. And this tool is also great for going in and putting in, like, you know, little skin flecks and little detail work. Give him a dimple in his chin too. Do all sorts of fun little things with it. When I'm doing faces, this tends to be the tool I use the most. And I'm just going to press in just a little bit here to give him some definition for his upper lip that you'll just see a little tiny bit of. So now we're going to go ahead and give him his mustache. And all you do, I've got some dark brown modeling chocolate. Use the heat of your hands to warm it up, get it pliable and smooth. And roll a snake out of it. Go ahead, use your cutters to trim it. And go ahead and start to pre-shape your mustache off your figure. It's a little bit easier to get, you know, depth and shape and dimension all down when he's off, because once you put him on there, if you push really hard, you'll actually move his face as well. So I want him to have a really nice handlebar mustache with thin sides. And so go and attach that. Let's go ahead and curl his edge up too. And modeling chocolate's great because there's no gelatin in it. It really holds its shape once it's on. That's why it's my preferred medium for everything sculpted. So go ahead and cut him another size. And this is the tricky part. It's always easiest to do it first and then trying to match up the other side. Just want to keep moving and placing and really looking to see how it is matching up with the other side of his mustache. So you don't want a guy with an uneven mustache. That'd be bad. What do you think? That looks pretty good. And so once again, modeling chocolate, when it's still warm like this, you don't need anything but the kind of the heat of the chocolate to attach it. And once again, can kind of go in and fine tune it. If there's a little bit that's extra, just cut cut through it and pull it off. And so, just kind of mold it in. Curl his other edge to match. And then I always go through, give the hair a little texture. You always want to do is do some texture, because if you go back and airbrush things, this is what the airbrush is really going to pick up. Alright, so the next step now is to go through, do his eyes. I'll make any final adjustments. I want his mustache to sit a little bit lower. So if you don't feel like doing your own eyes, you can always cheat and grab these little royal icing guys. Just find two that match up pretty well. And these you do need a little bit of water to attach, so I've dipped them in water before putting them on. And always make sure you square up and get their eyes in the same place so that they're looking at you, not cross-eyed. And then you can go into eyelids. Eyelids, once again, is just make a snake. Pull it across. Smash it in there. When you're doing little figures like this, it can get a little tricky getting in the small details, and that's when you really need to use your tools. First instinct is to always use your hands, but sometimes you gotta use the tools. That's why they're good to have around. And PME's tools are great because they don't have seams in them, and so you can really get a very smooth, workable surface. I'll give him some crow's feet too. He's had a hard life. He looks very concerned now. And then pretty much the final step for doing any face is eyebrows. We'll go ahead and put his eyebrow on this side. And once again, just use the same color of modeling chocolate, or you can hand draw them in if you want to do really thin eyebrows. And give him kind of a thinner brow. Once again, kind of pre-shape it the way you want. And then just lay it on in there. And if your hands start to get sticky, that's when the gloves will come in hand. Like you can either wear latex gloves or do chocolate gloves. Chocolate gloves are just little fabric gloves that keep your body heat from affecting the chocolate. Give his eyebrows a little bit of texture. Go back and do any little finishing details that you want to do. And there you go. You have a character. And next step for me in this would be to go back and do some airbrushing just to bring out his highlights and, you know, give him some dark circles, make his mustache look really cool, bring out his triple chin. But there you go. Alright, so there's our half-completed character. I hope you guys enjoyed my little demo on modeling chocolate figures, and have fun and play.